Hey there, all. I'm Rich. I'm the Rich Insurance Man. I'd appreciate you if you tried to tune in to the Facebook Live. Had some technical difficulties, so I'm going to do this recording in one shot here and upload it for your benefit. I am a writer of insurance and also an advisor. Today, we're going to talk about what to do if you don't have insurance right now. And I want to start with a little bit of inspiration because inspiration is what inspires us to drive to our goals, okay? Make your purpose more powerful than your problems and your determination deeper than your doubt, okay? Make your purpose more powerful than your problems and your determination deeper than your doubt. These things are the drivers, okay? These are the engine in your car. It's what lets you wake up in the morning and make sure that you're getting things done. Write out your goals. Make sure you know what you're going for because it's going to help you solve those problems, okay? The moment you make an excuse, that's the moment that you no longer change the outcome, okay? As soon as you make an excuse, you lose all ability to change the outcome. That said, let's dive deeper into this. We're going to talk about what is insurance and who can you trust, and then what your options are. So let's start with that question, what is insurance? Insurance is about transferring risk. The question is, if you had a heart attack today, who's responsible for footing most of the bill? If the answer is you haven't transferred risk appropriately. You don't want to be caught in a situation where you're both having to handle health and finances at the same time. That's going to give you big problems, okay? So now, who can you trust? Well, make sure you understand and know the agents that you're working with. Not everybody you talk to over the phone is going to be an agent. There's lots of call centers out there that have non-licensed people who are working and advertise or market themselves as agents. You want to be able to know who they are. They should be proud to tell you who they are and what they do. And in about 6 months' time after your policy is started, you should be able to call them back and ask about your policy and get those questions answered. If they're not going to be available to you, that's not somebody that you can trust. You can't hold their hand and continue walking through this stuff, okay? See everything in writing, okay? Very simple. See everything that they tell you in writing. You can't take what they have as their word. Their word does not change the actual terms of the policy. It has to be in writing. They will ask you to take them at their word. If they're doing that, they're not trustworthy. Okay? Check with reputable sources. Like the Better Business Bureau and the Department of Insurance. Those places are going to be the ones that are going to give you legitimate information about the company and about the person that you're working with, and they're going to help you make a good decision about whether or not this is a group that you want to work with. You can look for online reviews, but here's the thing. Online reviews are a lot like writing on the bathroom wall, okay? You don't know who wrote it, what the terms of the situation are. And a lot of times the only reason why people go online to leave reviews is when they're irate and irritated. But you don't know the source behind that story and you don't know the ultimate outcome. Now, what options are going to be available out to you? There are medical discount plans. Though a lot of people know and they're increasing popularity, those are not insurance. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who, when they are advertising these to you, they're going to try to make it sound like insurance. They're going to drop words like insurance or the Aetna network or things like that. Just because they drop those names doesn't mean that it really is insurance. What medical discount plans are designed for are they're trying to hit a niche market between the I can't qualify for government assistance and I don't really think I have it in the budget to swing a full insurance plan. But usually in those cases, you're going to be able to get discounts from the providers directly as opposed to having to pay for something that maybe you're going to pay out of pocket and never see any benefit out of. There's a lot of problems with these, and unfortunately they're marketed and advertised and they're pushed very aggressively in a way that's going to surprise you, and you don't want to end up with that. And in all cases, those medical discount plans, they're not for catastrophic loss. They're not going to answer in situations like cancer, heart attack, even surgeries. If you end up in a situation where you need appendectomy, you're not going to get a lot of coverage and you're going to be responsible for paying most of it out of pocket. And that goes back to that transferring risk. You really haven't transferred any risk. What you're doing is just trying to soften a little bit on your budget, but it's not going to help you in big situations. Now, the next piece that we're going to talk about is health sharing plans. There's a lot of these that have grown in popularity. A lot of people know about them. What people don't know is that in most of these situations, you cannot make a claim with a health sharing plan for the first 36 to 48 months of the policy. You're sinking money, and I say policy, but it's really the membership. You're sinking money into a membership that you have no coverage in, no access to be able to cover those bills, okay? They're not governed by the Department of Insurance, which means they're not really responsible to anyone. So if you have a problem, guess what? You're up the creek without a paddle. The bills that are there, you are ultimately the one that's responsible for those. And you're trying to share them with other members who think about it. They got on the plan because they wanted to save money per month. So you're really left to the whim of people who are going to try to boost where their kind of do-gooder sense, like I helped somebody today, by periodically checking and paying a bill. So you have some great success stories with people where, my bills were totally covered, but there's a lot more stories of people who are on these plans that are looking at, I've only got 20% of my bill covered and I'm responsible for the rest. And they're talking thousands of dollars in medical bills that they are the ones that are ultimately responsible. They're not helping the majority of the people that are on them, okay? Lastly, this is the one that we want to key in on. Private insurance. Private insurance markets, they're non-ACA plans, so you're going to have some responsibility for tax penalties. Currently, in 2019, Congress eliminated the tax penalty. They zeroed it out for people that are on private insurance plans. But private insurance plans are going to be actual insurance, but not all of them are going to be equal, okay? Things that you want to check for. Again, go back to that Better Business Bureau. Look to see how they're rated. Check with your Department of Insurance. See how, ask them if the Department of Insurance would recommend that particular company. Lastly, the most important thing is ask the person you're talking about, do they do their underwriting at the time of the application or at the time of your first claim? I've got a really bad horror story. A gentleman was deciding between two different companies that were offering private insurance. Went with one where he was saving about $80 a month. Problem was he didn't know whether or not they did the underwriting at the time of the issue of the policy or at the first claim. He had, in about 6 month time, he was recommended by his doctor to go get an EKG because he had had high blood pressure and some other items, and later that year had a heart attack. Well, the company that was with him, because they did their underwriting at the time of the claim, they looked at the health history that he'd had with his doctor and with that EKG. They considered it a pre-existing condition, and rather than stepping up to the plate and covering that $240,000 bill, they issued back his premium and claimed that he could not receive coverage under that. Now he's responsible and on the hook for that $240,000 bill, and he's having to do things like liquidate assets. None of the risk was transferred. So you want a company that's going to do their underwriting ahead of time, make sure that they get their ducks in a row. That way, at the time of the claim, now you've got coverage, okay? That's the deal. So I hope this is helpful to you. Follow me on Facebook and share this post if you know someone who may be in a situation where they don't have insurance today. There are options out there on that are available. We can get people on, and a lot of times they get it at a pretty good premium. But you're going to have to face up to that fact where you're going to have to put a little bit of dollars down. But at the end of the day, putting a few dollars down, few pennies on the dollar, you are going to transfer a huge portion of risk, and that's really important today with your big stuff and with that COVID-19, okay? Listen, COVID-19, there's a lot of hype about it. There's a lot of people that are scared about it, and ultimately the majority of people that are going to be getting COVID-19 are not going to be in any danger. The people that are going to look at higher bills are the people that then have to be quarantined at a hospital for some reason. Regardless of the outcome, if you get quarantined, that's where you're going to see big bills piling up. That's where you need insurance for this particular season. But let's talk about the bigger scope. Let's not get panicked and buy insurance just because of COVID-19. Let's talk details and make sure that everything is done right and in order, okay? Contact me if you need help. If for any reason, my information is on the About page on my Facebook page, but you can also reach me at richinsuranceman@gmail.com or call me directly at 503-926-4301. I'm happy to answer any questions. And if you need a policy started, I can help you do some research, look at what's on the public market, as well as what's on that private market, and we can see what we can do to get you covered started as soon as possible. Have a blessed day. Appreciate you tuning in, and again, follow along on Facebook and share this post with anybody that may need some assistance.